This conference will now be recorded.
In the last session, we were discuss about database connectivity program using Microsoft SQL Server. So how to perform a basic CRUD operations we have seen. And today I'm going to show you MySQL CRUD operations. Means using Python, we can communicate with any database like uh, MS SQL, MySQL, even Oracle, okay, MongoDB, PostgreSQL, SQLite 3, and so on. So any database through we can communicate. But today I'm showing you working with MySQL. So instead of concentrating on Microsoft SQL Server database, better to concentrate on MySQL because most of the cases in real time Python applications as well as Django applications recommend to communicate with MySQL only. So already I have shown in the last session how to perform the operations using PyODBC library through Microsoft SQL Server. PyODBC means Python Open Database Connectivity and Microsoft SQL Server connectivity purpose. This is required. And connection string is this one which I have used right now. Driving driver equals to SQL Server. Server name is dot server. It's a universal server name and database name is Python at 7 a.m. Fine. Today I'm trying to introduce what MySQL now. So before going to do this, but to communicate Python through MySQL, so compulsory in your computer MySQL software is required, sir. So if you don't have MySQL server, I just recommend to download and install. So simply I have already in my computer, so I cannot proceed the installation process, but I can suggest you where to go. So simply try to go to Google and download MySQL. You can type it first. Download MySQL. And the moment whenever you click on download MySQL, now you can see mysql.com downloads will be there and click on download MySQL installer here. And before that, let's go back here. Click on MySQL downloads only here. Sometimes you may notice actually just a moment. Uh, so click on download MySQL. So when we get this MySQL community download, there are two options are there. One is Windows x86 32-bit MySQL installation. So MSI installer is there. Okay, MySQL installer download. This we have to download and install it first. After completion of this, okay, next what we need to do, download MySQL Workbench we have to use. Download MySQL Workbench. Now we have to download MySQL Workbench also. Workbench means it will provide you the designer like GUI, graphical user interface. Now we have to download this MySQL Workbench installer also. These two installation steps you just finish. If you don't know, then you can type in Google just steps to install and download install MySQL. Just you can follow it. If you have any problem, I'll help you regarding this, not a problem. But try to install this MySQL, okay, by following some steps through Google. It will be useful because you have to take care installation from your side. It will be useful for you whenever in future you want to install it. It will be helpful you. So please try to go and install it this one. And if you have any trouble, I can help you. Not a problem. If you share the screenshot to mail so or WhatsApp, I can help you regarding that. What need to be selected like that. But at the time of installation, you need to give the username and password. Same username and password only we have to use in the connection of MySQL to Python, okay, or Python to MySQL. So in my computer already MySQL is there. Let's open MySQL. Just go to search and type MySQL. Look at this MySQL Workbench 8.0 Community Edition is there. The moment when I install successfully, then you will get like this. Suppose If your installation successfully done, then you will get like this MySQL Workbench 8.0 only. Click on this. MySQL Workbench 8.0 is coming like this. Now you can see welcome to MySQL Workbench. Now MySQL connections are there. Left hand side you can notice this. Closely observe, this is the default username, root username. In your case also, at the time of installation, root username only it will ask you. So root username and password, that is your choice. You can decide it at the time of installation. So MySQL Workbench is what actually is the official graphical user interface GUI tool for MySQL. It will allow you to design, create, browse your database schemas, work with the database objects, insert data, as well as design and run SQL queries to work with stored data. You can also migrate schemes and data from other database vendors to your MySQL database. This is description. So this is very useful. Sir, what happen if I try to install only my MySQL installer? So you will get command prompt. Command prompt means it is typical to manage little bit compared to GUI, because every time we need to pass the commands only if you want to work with MySQL. So that's what additionally I recommend after installation of MySQL installer. Command prompt workbench also need to be recommended. If you go for workbench, this will be good for you because easily we can able to manage. Now in the left hand side panel, now I'm clicking on root and localhost port number. You can remember that is 3306 is there. The moment when I click on root localhost 3306, it's asking me username is root, password. So password, how I can get? At the time of installation, what password I use, at that password I'm using in my case. Okay, in our case, what password you have given, that password you can give. Let's connect this. So this is MySQL Workbench windows are here. This is for the first time you'll be able to open like this only. Okay, like this you will get clearly. So this is, yeah, it look like first time when we open. In the left hand side, database schemas are there, like all the databases recently which we worked with databases, all databases are available. If you want, you can create databases also here. But how to create databases here and all these things in our Django complete explanation I'll give you. But here Python, that is only just communication is required. But for sure that even I'm not going to create any database here. Everything from Python coding through only I will do today. Creating database, creating table, inserting records, updating records, everything from there only I'll try to create. But I want to show you just how it look like MySQL workbench is. Okay, yes. So you just minimize it now. And let's go to your programming now. Okay, in your program, so already we created one file pydb.py. This is for database connectivity for Microsoft SQL Server. Let's create a new file. Okay, so MySQL connection, py MySQL connection, like this. Any file name you can give. But to communicate with MySQL through Python, I suggest you one name, one library is required, like import. It is there, it will come directly because I have installed already in my previous programming purpose. MySQL dot what actually connector. Look at this. I have already installed this MySQL dot connector. That's what it's coming. Import MySQL dot connector is working, sir. If not there, what we have to do? You have to install it this library. How to install this library? You know that. And I recommend this one, sir. Those who wants to communicate with MySQL, please try to follow this. This is mandatory to install. Don't install unnecessary things. Installation process of packages like this. Go to your Python full stack 7am project, Python interpreter, and click on plus symbol. In the available packages, we can just use MySQL Word. Immediately we will notice somewhere MySQL hyphen connector hyphen Python. This is recommend, sir. Don't do any changes. Only this is recommend. MySQL hyphen connector hyphen Python, sir. So this is MySQL driver written in Python language. So using this MySQL driver only, we can communicate with my MySQL servers are. So this is MySQL hyphen connector hyphen Python only. Okay, next after that I have installed already. That's what it's saying, like blue color indication. If not installed, then it will say that black color. So immediately you can click on install package. You can install it, not a problem. Okay, already I have installed. I don't want to install this package. This package is mandatory. After installing this package only, so you can able to write it on the top, import mysql.connector only. This is the library. Next, I'm trying to show you just whether my Python program is able to communicate with MySQL or not. Just we have to test first. After communication is working fine means, then we will create a database from here to there. And also not only database, later we'll create tables and insertion. Everything we can perform step by step clearly. First we have to try with connection is establishing or not, or this program is communicating with MySQL or not. I have to show you first. To do this, what I need to do, first a try block and except block I'll take. Okay, inside the try block, inside the except block I'm writing. Try block and except block, what is the purpose actually? Try block generally risky code. Whatever the chances are there, any exception or error is there, that code we can just keep inside the try block. And except block means alternate statements. Whatever you want to give the alternate statements, we can give this into except block clearly. This is what except block statement. But coming to the try block, I'm using normally connection name, connection object, con. You can take any name, and mysql dot connector dot connect is a method. So in this connection method, we have to give the credentials. What credentials? Username is what? Username, default username is root or OT root. Okay, this is. And password is what password we have mentioned, that password you have to mention. Okay, in your case that might be different. So my case, what password I have given, that password only I am giving like this. This is my password. Next, host name, it is optional, not compulsory. That is localhost, localhost, host name. And then port number, this is also optional, not compulsory, 3306. So these are the credentials to communicate with the database. Inside the try block, I am providing connection string. This line is totally connection string, means address path of the database where it has to be communicated. Connection object, mysql.connector is a library, .connect is a method, user is an attribute, username is root, password is this one, host name is localhost, and then port number is 3306. These credentials we have to pass. If these credentials are correct, then our Python program communicate with MySQL. Okay, so I want to give the clarity to the end user in the programming. So if con is a connection object, dot is connected method is there. Is connected method is a built-in method with MySQL. So this method will return true or false. If this method is written true, I can say to this connected successfully. I can say that simply connected successfully. I can say that connected successfully. Print connected successfully. Except block. What I'm trying to say this except block, unable to connect or something like this. Unable to connect. If any problem is there in this credentials, password wrong or localhost name spelling mistake, immediately it will go to except block. Okay, unable to connect. Let's see this. I'm trying to run this now. Everything is fine. I think in my case, connected successfully means, so this Python program is connected successfully to database. Fine. What database?
Sir,
MySQL.
can
Yeah, tell me.
can you explain that for line number 4 once again?
That's what line number 4 is, a connection string only. No, connection is an object. MySQL.connector is a library. In this library is having method called connect method. So just now I have opened MySQL. That user is root user. By default, root user is there. Your password is, my password is this one at the time of installation. Localhost and port number is 3306. This localhost and port numbers also came by default like this MySQL. When I try to use MySQL open for the first time Workbench, in the left hand side you can see this root number, localhost 3306, these credentials I'm giving.
Got it. Thank you.
Now this is the connection string. We are connecting successfully, fine. But suppose I'm changing my password, just wrong password I'm giving. If I give wrong password here, so this is not communicated, so credentials are wrong. So immediately it will go to accept block. Look at this, unable to connect. Okay, so this is just checking connection is correct or not. So it's unable to connect, no connection. And now I'm giving correct password, and now it is connected successfully. So this method will return true or false if connection means this is connection string variables credentials. If this credentials is connected, method is returned true means connected successfully, except unable to connect. So only what we did, what we checked, whether communication is happening or not, we are checking now. Okay, fine. But no database is there, no interaction is there like this directly. Now to create one database, I can create database directly here also, simply create database name, but I don't want. I want to create entirely through Python code only. So that's what I'm doing now. So you can refresh it right now. There are so many databases are there, Django 3pm, MyDB, Python 10:30 am, Python 10 am like this earlier which I created. Now I want to create a new database. How to create a new database? Yes, we have to pass the commands. So what command? So after successfully this establish the connection, I can continue my program. Okay, so I'm writing my SQL statement. SQL equals to, it's a name of the query. If you want, you can change any name also, no problem. To create a database, what statement we have to use? Create database name is Python 7am is my database name right now. A Python 7am is database. There is no database like Python 7am database right now here. Let me create this database name. So to execute this command, create database name is Python 7am. So we need cursor. So cursor object I'm taking, cursor equals to cur equals to any object you can take, no problem. Con dot cursor. Once we use this cursor declaration con dot cursor, so cur is a cursor object dot execute method is there. What you want execute? SQL I want execute. SQL means what? Create database Python 7am. Or else you can cut this total statements create database Python 7am and place into here only directly inside the execute method, not a problem. Cur dot execute of SQL, fine. After that, just close the cursor and close the connection, because closing is important after completion of your task. Close the cursor, close the connection, sir. We close the connection and we close the cursor. So for just clarity in the terminal window after connected successfully, I need to give the clarity again. So database created successfully. Database created successfully. So right now you can see this, there is no databases involved. There is no databases available with a name called Python 7am. So because of this connection, all credentials I'm giving now. So in that one database will create, that name is Python 7am. The moment when I run this, connected successfully, and then database created successfully, we got the message in the terminal. Connected successfully, database created successfully. Now let's see this. Let's save this here and refresh it here. Once refresh is over, now closely observe Python 7am database is created, which was not there earlier. So but now it is there here because we created successfully database with the name Python 7am. You can expand this here, and once we expand this, tables are there. There is no tables inside this tables. There is no data also available. Okay, so Python 7am database is created. This is only database creation, sir. But what about table creation? So same code, don't need to change every time. Same code, only every time according to requirement we can just change line number 11. Line number 11 is the query, that is SQL query. Okay, line number 11 only we have to change every time. So let's change the line number 11 only every time. So right now I'm trying to show you how to create a table. We created successfully database. So database is nothing but what? Collection of information. But that information how we can store means we can store in the form of tables only. So we need to store the information in the form of tables. For that we need to create a table, sir. Let's create a table here. Creating table purpose we need to pass the query. What query? Just create table. Table name is any table, like, so create table. Table name is manager or something, employee or something, or student, whatever it is. Let's create table. Table name is manager. So manager ID, so I'm taking MID, that is integer, 5 numbers ID. Okay, or else you can pass the columns first actually. Let's pass the columns. Create table. Table name is like MID, manager ID, or else ID, integer, name, manager name, variable character 20, and then address, variable character 20, and then salary, that is integer type I'm using. These are what actually here. Table creation. Create table. Table name is manager, of ID int, name varchar of 20, address varchar of 20, salary integer. So once we create this table, okay, then we need to execute this. Yes, we are passing this SQL query to this execute method. So this execute method will take this SQL query to execute this all. So everything will take this, it will create a new table clearly. So now table created successfully, but make sure that here one important thing is required. Earlier in the previous example we just passed this credentials only. Username is root, password is this one, host name is this one, port number 336. Generally now we are doing what? Table we are creating, manager table. But table creation purpose who is required? Database is required. How does this file, Python file, knows that where it has to create which database? So you must and should mention database name also. Database equals to in the connection string, don't forget. Okay, so Python 7am is our database, comma. If you don't mention database you will get error, obviously. Okay, so inside the database only table should be created. So database equals to Python 7am. This is our database table what we have created previously. You can see Python 7am. Okay, so this is database creation. Fine, sir. So table creation, fine, in this database only. Let's see this connected successfully. Table created, you will get clearly. So let's execute. Create connected successfully. Table created successfully. You just go to MySQL database. You can refresh once here by hitting refresh button. In Python 7am you have to check. But look at this one thing I want to say, that right now we have left hand side lot of database names are there. One database is in dark text, like strong text only visible. This is right now active database like that. But how do we make our database is active? Means just double click on this Python 7am, automatically this is activated. That means currently right now you are under this database. So Python 7am and tables you can expand. Just now I created manager table from my Python programming, it's created. You can expand it again. You can expand it again, columns, ID, name, address, salary here. Even if you want to see the data, like select star from table name EMP, select star from table name manager, sorry, manager table. Right now we are in current database. How do you know that we are in current database like Python 7am? Python 7am is having strong text. So we are hitting this same query window. Select star from manager, execute button is there here. This is click on execute. Automatically we got this table format, ID, name, address, salary. But there is no data available right now in this table. We just created and we have to store the data right now. But sir, through command, how to activate our database? Means right now 7 a.m. database. I want to move to 10 a.m. database. Right now I want to use 10 a.m. database. Directly double click on it, it will activate. But through command means use a database name like this. Python 10 a.m. I am writing. Use Python 10 a.m. means use command is required. Once we select and execute it, now you can see Python 10 a.m. is activated now. And if you want to activate your database like 7 a.m. now, again use command you have to use Python 7 a.m. means you can select it and execute this. Now 7 a.m. database is activated. So this is activation of your database currently which we are working. Okay, in this database right now 7 a.m. database, we have table called manager table, ID, name, address, salary is there. So next, after creating table is ready, but there is no records in that. But if I want to insert record, so then we can go for insertion query. Okay, how to insert? Let's see this. So instead of SQL statement here, what I mean to say that insert query, I have to write it. Let's change this query immediately. Let me write the insert query here. So here insertion purpose, we use insert command. Insert into table name is manager. Insert into table name is manager. What columns you are inserting also you have to mention ID, name, address, and then salary of closing. Then values. What values you are going to inserting, you have to mention this. So I'm trying to insert the values like ID values like 101, manager ID, manager name, manager address, manager salary. Okay, manager address, manager salary. See this something changing. 101. So what is this? Single quotes we have to use, sir. Don't use double quotes for column values, string values. Okay. Now address is HYD and salary is 1000 I'm giving. This is what actually values double quotes. Yeah. So insert into manager of ID, name, address, salary values. These values I'm passing here clearly. So these values need to be execute. We are passing this SQL statement execute command, and we are executing after that close cursor, close connection, and date record inserted successfully. I'm displaying record inserted successfully. So let's run this record inserted successfully or not. But right now you can see we are seeing this select star from manager table. We don't have any records right now. ID, name, address, salary. Okay, now let's run this. Now record is inserted successfully or not. Let's check. Connected successfully. One record inserted successfully. When we go back to MySQL and check this one select star from manager, now one record inserted successfully. But do you have any record right now? No. Yes. Wantedly, I miss one small command, because you have to know that clearly. If I don't use that command, what is going to happen? Okay. The moment when I write this command, even it is not saved actually, because commit. Yes, exactly. Commit is required, sir. Commit makes save changes. But did I use any commit command here? No. After execution, you have to use that commit command. So how to use means connection dot commit means save the changes. Once we save the changes only, then changes will be impact on your database table. So let's see this. I'm trying to use select star from manager, and now you can see right now we got the insertion successfully. So don't forget to use commit. If you know, if you forget to include the commit command, then what's going to happen here? So commit is mandatory, make changes your query values. So one record got inserted. So every time we are trying to insert one record, but can't we insert multiple records? Yes, we can insert multiple records simply. Same query, we can pass multiple values, not a problem here. So we are passing right now, just observe here in this query, we are passing 101, 102 now. Let's change that ID 102 I'm taking. Now just Mohan and salary. Okay, let's comma. I'm passing one more record like this. Let's copy this one and paste into here only inside the comma like 103. Okay, Kiran. And now like this. So this is clearly. So how many records are there? Two records are there, 102. So how many you want? That many you can pass it. So now records inserted successfully will be there. How many records are inserting now? You can see two more records are extra inserted in database table. So here you can just check it once, and we are inserting two more records directly here. So this is insertion process. It's a simple command, sir. So a comment compared to file handling mechanism, this is very easy to handle because most of the cases in real time database storage only recommended, because modification of the file and doing changes of the file, it will be easy when we go for database mechanism instead of file handling. File handling is somewhat complex operations, we have to do it. But file handling, database handling, both are permanent storage areas only. So permanently we can store the data until you delete and drop them from the database table. So these are multiple insertion records, single insertion record. Suppose if you want to delete the record, one of the record user wants to delete, then simply delete query we can pass. We can pass the delete query like this. Delete query is very simple, but deletion always we can do with the based on ID. Don't try to delete records based on the name, because if multiple persons are having their name same, then all records gets deleted automatically. That's not good. So delete from table name is what actually EMP. So EMP not manager, where ID equals to 102. So means 102 record I want to delete. Yes, I will change that. I will show that update command will come now. We can change the date also. I'll show you surely. Next command, that is only to, if you want to modify one of the student manager ID or manager name or manager address, changing the data means update command you have to use. So delete from manager table name where ID equals to 102. So record deleted successfully like that. So I can say that record deleted successfully. Right now 102 manager ID is there. Just look at this, 102 manager ID is there here, Mohan ID. So that I want to delete it. So I have passed a delete command here. Delete from manager where ID equals to 102. So deleted successfully. Let's go and check out here, refresh this, select star from manager. So deleted after deletion 101, 103 records only there. Durga and Kiran. Second record is deleted. Now it's time to modify, means updation. Someone wants to change the details of name as well as address as well as a salary, that if they want to delete that all, so they can able to modify the details also, not a problem. So deletion updation required. So updation purpose, what we need to do, we need to pass update command simply here. So let's try to pass that update command here. So update table name, update table name manager. What you want to set means what you want to modify, you can decide this. I want to change the name of the manager, and Harish I'm giving name of the manager. Okay, and also I want to set address of the manager, address equals to just Vizag I'm taking, and the salary also I want to manage, salary equals to 44,000. Okay, where do you want to change this where condition ID equals to 101 I'm taking. So that means what, update table name is manager, set what you want to set. Name is Harish, address is Vizag, okay, and salary is 44,000. Where do you want to save these changes? On ID number 101. Right now in my database, ID number 101 person is Durga, HYD, and 40,000. But these details will be changed immediately the moment when we pass update command from here to database. So record updated successfully. Record updated successfully. Once I execute this, connected successfully, record updated successfully like this. Record updated successfully. Now let's run this now. Select start from manager. So once I run this, now you can see record updated successfully. So this is called modification purpose. So to modify the data, then we use update command. We have to set that what fields do you want to set and where do you want to set also. We have to choose a base. For deletion and updation, generally we need to choose the base, that is ID number. So that ID number through we have to delete it or update it. So these are the updation here. So all the things are okay, but sir, I want to retrieve the data because already I have two records in my database table. I want to receive from Python program to MySQL database. We are communicating right now, but now MySQL database, that is Python 7am database to Python program, I have to communicate. I have to retrieve the data from database. Reading purpose, we use different mechanisms are there. Simple command is there. Command is okay. So how to read all the records means select star from table name. We can say that. So we are reading the data from database. Let's see this how to retrieve the data from database. I'll show you. So first let me change the script here. So reading data from database or else just connected successfully. You can keep this. This code is common, sir. Above code is for every program is common. Library and try block code and except block common it is. But only change is this one only. Whatever you want to do changes every time you can write this command simply. So I want to retrieve the data from database table. Select star from what actually manager here. Select star from manager. Okay, select star from manager. Manager is our table name. So star indicates all columns, you know that. So I want to read the data right now. To read the data, so cursor dot execute SQL parsing. SQL command is this is only. We are retrieving the data. But after retrieving the data, so what we need to do means just observe here. Here I'm going to save the data after reading. So I'm changing the data. I'm reading the data here. Manager underscore data equals to. So who will fetch the records means fetch all command, fetch all method. Cursor object is having fetch all method. This fetch all method is used to fetch all the records by using this SQL statement. We have passed select star from manager and it will fetch and stored into where manager data. The moment when I try to print manager data directly, what is this data? You just observe here. Okay, let's see this. Selected successfully. We have read the data also. But look at this. What data is there? Manager data, list data here. List with the tuple. So look at this 101 Harish Vijak 44,000. 103 Kiran HYD 60,000. These two records only available right now in my MySQL database table. So these two records are coming. These two records, how it is coming? In the list only. But do you want to iterate separately? Yes, we can iterate separately by using loop through. For I in or record. Record means R. In where is your records manager data? Manager data is list type. We are printing R. One by one record I am printing. One record first it will print. This will print first only 101 Harish. After that next line I want to jump. That's what I am using this print function, empty print function. So manager data is a collection of records. This collection of records one by one record I'm retrieving and printing this or in the for loop body. After that I'm just giving line gap print using. So we are retrieving separately like this. This is directly printing manager data where we are storing after fetching all records. This is the storage area manager underscore data. And this is from manager data to I'm printing one by one extraction. This one record separate by using for loop. But still more readable way if you want to iterate or if you want to display this means so you just comment this print or okay, this is also not required total list. You're having manager data list format. In this one by one record will come. So one by one record means I need to print what actually each and every record separately in detailed description wise. So how I can print inside the loop body means print. So I can say manager ID is okay. R is what actually loop variable. So R means loop variable of 0 means first row this is R. R of 0 means 101 manager ID. Next print manager name is R of 1 means what? Harish. 0 index, 1 index, 2 index, 3 index. It's a tuple collection, tuple with indexes. Next what I am taking manager address is then R of what? 2 only. Next print manager salary is an R of 3 only, like this. In detailed description, if you want to print, then we can print like this. We got the same details are connected successfully. These records are reading with clear picture, each and every detail separately. I'm assigning them manager ID, manager name, manager address, manager salary. Do you want to read like this? You can read it, or else instead of that, we can print directly records only, record wise. Anyways, we can able to retrieve. It's okay, not a problem. This is completely all CRUD operations, how to perform clearly one by one. Okay, so we can also do untie that all the operations. Sir, I want to create a table and I want to communicate with the database and table creation and everything at a time I want to do means we can do it by using a separate program like that. Separate program means just look at this. I have already programmed. Let me explain that program clearly step by step what's going to happen. So program to perform all the operations at once. Okay. So this logic only, same logic only, I have included in one program completely. That I am showing now. Quickly I will do this. That means through that program I can create a new table separately. I can insert the data, I can retrieve the data every time all together. I can do with one example with try catch implementation clearly. Let's see this. That program is there already in my documentation section. So let's explain it clearly step by step. Yes, now you can see program to perform read and insertion operations using total one code, one line one programming code. So either you can separately perform or else we can do any ways you can perform. Let's copy paste and let's explain this code one by one. Now closely observe this code here. So you know that import mysql.connector, fine. So cur cursor is my global variable. That is, I have not decided any value of the cursor variable here. And con is also a global variable. I have not decided here. And try block I have included here. In this try block, observe here con is my connection object. mysql.connector.connect method. Host is localhost. Database is your database name correctly. You can give this Python 7am is my database. So username is root and password is also same which I given. And but yes, port number and localhost, not a port number I have not given, but it's okay, not a problem. Port number is optional. No, I said that 3306. Now cursor object I created cursor dot connection dot cursor and cursor dot execute method we use directly, or else in my previous examples I took separate queries in the SQL object only, SQL equal to something query. So here I'm trying to create a table, sir. Here create table, table name is student. Create table, table name is student. Now here student ID, that is integer type, 5 digits of integer I'm trying to create. That should be primary key, means no duplicate values will allow. S name varchar of 10, S address varchar of 10 only. So ID, SID, S name, S address through I'm creating table. Now I'm just printing confirmation table is created. After creating table, now you can see this. I'm trying to pass directly. You can able to pass the values here, execute command through. But for a change, because you have to know that this also. Sometimes we have to use execute many also, because execute many means many parameters we are supplying. That many parameters through we are going to create the records. Now here SQL is my one variable, one parameter. In this I'm writing only query syntax like insert into student, SID, S name, S address, values, percentage S, percentages, percentages. That means what? It's a string format like this. Okay, what values I'm passing? SID, S name, S address. And this is one parameter. But this query insertion purpose, these values are expecting or not? This parameter values we are supplying separately because multiple records I want to insert at a time. 101, 102 like this. I have passed multiple records enclosed within the tuple and list. This is records. This parameter 1 and this parameter 2, both I need to pass to this what command, what method? Execute many method. So that's the reason here SQL comma records, or else instead of this directly in one location, how we have written previously, one query to insert multiple records, that also we can do it, not a problem. But for a change, I'm showing every time same thing. If I show, then you will not get new things. So that's what I'm including this, a new thing. SQL is one parameter, records is another parameter, two parameters we are supplying through with which execute many method, cursor dot execute many of SQL comma record. And now connection dot commit is there. Save changes is completely required. And after records inserted successfully, I'm showing record inserted successfully. The next, after insertion, I need to read again that with same table, from same table, cursor dot execute of select star from student only. So now cursor dot execute select star from student, because already student table is created at line number 8 only, and line number 10 and 11, 12 we are inserting two records. After inserting, we are returning back, means we are reading back the records from same table student. And after getting this cursor dot fetch all after we are getting the data from database and stored into data. This is query values are there. In this, we are reading one by one row. For row in data, student ID, row of 0. Row means loop variable. 0 index, 1 index, 2 index. 1 index means ID, sorry, name. 2 index address, 0 index is ID. So this all should happen when the connection and everything is okay, means try block will execute. If something went wrong, whether your database DB is wrong or something went wrong, means it will go to which block? Except block. So inside the except block, I have written super class of exception. This can take care of everything. As ebids exception object, this exception class will return a message, no, that will stored into this e object. I am taking that if connection equal to true, means if exception occurred, then connection is established. That should be rollback, means cancel. I don't want to use connection stay. And if after that print, there is a problem with SQL statement only. Else block, if connection is not equal to true, means what? False. So print connection is failed, means if any connection issues are there, connection problem. If connection is correct only, SQL problem. That problems I am using into except block. And look at this finally block I am including here. You know that in my earlier sessions, like exception handling mechanism time, I discussed clearly finally block why generally we can include, means mandatory statements, means irrespective of try block or irrespective of except block, do you want to execute something in your program, means finally block is the best place, because finally block is always executes. So why finally block I'm including here, means I have already declared my cursor variable and connection variable on top of the program at line number 3 and line number 4. So if cursor variable is there, then I have to show cursor dot close. If connection variable is there, I have to say connection dot close. So finally block, just for showing you whether finally block executing or not, just I'm using print function finally block. So if I keep this cursor closing, connection closing inside the try block, there is no guarantee to execute try block, because try block, when it will execute, when everything is fine, it will execute, otherwise no. If I say that cursor dot close, connection dot close in except block also, there is no guarantee to execute except block, because except block will execute only when there is something wrong in try block only. So the best place is whether queries are executing or not, no matter, exception raise or no matter, exception handling or not, no matter, but I want to close the cursor and close the connection and end up the program. That's what I included this into finally block only. So this is exactly mandatory statements including into finally block. Let's make changes here code. Yeah, with statement if you use, you can able to use, no problem, but actually with statement here it is not possible, because that is related to what? Actually file handling mechanism. Okay, it's not possible here. We are not working with file handling, no, we are working with database handling completely. So now you can see there is no student table right now in my database, MySQL database. Do you have any student table? Just look at this, Python 7am. So table only manager is there. There is no student table. The moment when I execute this program, student table will create. But let's see this database name I'm going to give wrong. So what is the error you will get? You can say exception is going to get. You can see this. What is the exception you are getting? Connection failed. Okay. With statement is not only concatenation. With statement is just for including multiple number of lines of statements inside the file handling mechanism, not for concatenation. As many as statements we can include inside the with block, that is in file handling. So the advantage of with the statement is only no need to close the file explicitly as long as you are in the with block. Once you are come out from the with block, automatically file gets closed, I said. Now I have changed the database name here. We got this connection failed, unknown database is there. Okay, Python 7am is not. So exception handling also clearly having. Once everything is clear, then now you can see, click on run, and we got this clearly. Table is created, records inserted successfully, records also read one by one record, and finally block closing cursor closing connection is okay. Let's go back to MySQL database again. Select start from student table. Student table also created or not? You can see student table is created. Student records also available. Do you want to say that student records whether available or not? Just we can see student. So select start from student. We got this student record like this. What we have supplied. So this is the way to work with Python with MySQL communication. So this is simple programming, connection establishment, everything. And that's all for now today. And tomorrow we'll discuss. Tomorrow, Sunday, I'm going to plan the session. So how many of you join tomorrow? Please let me know so that we'll plan according to that. Otherwise, we'll see on Monday also. Not a problem, as your wish. Please type your suggestion so that I'll take the decision tomorrow, Sunday or Monday. Do you want me to take tomorrow or Monday? You can decide it immediately.
I just have a question, not related to the class,
Hmm.
tomorrow class. How much percentage do I need to know for MySQL? It should be the basic level to get the job
So,
for the beginner,
yeah,
like
no, yes, as basic level is enough to
for
Python full
MySQL.
stack development. Yeah, yeah. So basics level are enough. Even more basics we will include at the time of Django development. So anyway, UI technologies and MySQL database will come in the middle of Django. There I can explain more things about MySQL also. That's enough to handle it.
So, in order to find the job later on, if I know a little bit more as compared with the MySQL and other stuff, if I know a little bit more in Python, will it, help to get the job, or do I need to know more? Like I should be expert in MySQL or just the
No, no,
basic?
no. No, no, no. You need not to be expert in MySQL to handle Python, Django, everything. Okay, so
Okay.
you can able to manage that, but because you are not a completely MySQL developer, exclusively database developer means database side only how to use it. But so you are not an exclusively database developer, so you are Python full stack developer, focus on Python and Django. And anyway, MySQL knowledge is required, but will make you comfort in MySQL at the time of Django. I'll include all the things. Just we have done CRUD operations, but more things we'll know about in MySQL at the time of Django time.
Okay, so I kind of, your class was actually the notes are very helpful. I think it's very. I'd watched many video, and
Hmm.
your notes has more content, which I noticed that your notes are excellent actually to refer. And now my question is, um, after finishing this whole course, so what
Hmm.
kind of job I should look for? What is the job title? Because here it's so difficult to find the job. I don't know what job title I should look for. Data analytics is, I think it's
No, no.
too high
See, the
level
one
for
thing,
me
yeah, yeah, data analytics purpose, Python is
because
sufficient, not required Django and REST API, Flask, all those things. See, after completion of your course like Python full stack, you should prepare two profiles like only Python and one and next another profile is Python full stack. So including like Python, Django, REST framework, Flask framework, MySQL basics, UI basics, like that. If we keep then two profiles through, you can try to attempt. Then maximum you will get a job as a Python developer or else Python full stack developer. So once
oh,
you get a job offer as a Python full stack developer, you should be act as like any cases like Django or Flask or REST framework. Any involvement is there in that.
but Python stack developer is a high level. No, I
Yeah, yeah,
believe
high
that's a
level.
yeah.
No, no, no,
So
it's
I
not
don't
a high
think I will
level.
get that job because I don't have experience at all. I just
Not, hmm,
mhm.
not a problem. Not a problem. So Python developer means it's not high level, but
Okay.
only you need to know about the Python coding knowledge. But
Mm-hmm.
after getting a job, they'll give you according to their requirements some internal training so that it will be easy to
Okay.
handle.
Okay, and can you help us later on after finishing the course to what we have to mention in the resume? I don't
Yeah,
have
surely,
any
surely,
network,
surely,
like what I should put in the resume.
surely I can help you regarding that. It's not a problem.
Okay, thank you. But
Okay, fine.
your notes was, I think it has lots of information. It was really helpful just
Yeah,
going
yeah,
only through the notes.
yeah, yeah. Go through that. It's okay. It's more than enough to get a job.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, yeah. So see you tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll decide it. I'll mail you. Okay, whether Sunday tomorrow is there or not, I'll mail you before joining the session. You can check your mail for sure. And if there, then I'll be joined. And if not, then we'll see on Monday on the same link only. You just look that mail, check the mail before joining the session. So mostly we'll close by this weekend. Python will be finished mostly. Still 7, 8 sessions are required. We'll look into that. After that, immediately we'll announce Django at same time only.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you so much. Have a good weekend.